Good afternoon to you. What is up, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to the show. I, of course, am the one and only Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live, loud and clear on a Monday evening. And I hope you're doing okay. I'm doing pretty good myself. Shellback Bow, first one up front with one of the good seats. He's got one of the good ones. If you're watching out there, whether you're watching over on X, formerly Twitter, or watching over on YouTube, please pop into the chat and say hello. Love to hear from you. Unregistered Hypercam.2, St. Cuthbert the Cudgel, Movie Guy John. Hello. I hope you guys are doing great. But anyway, so it is Monday, and if you have newly subscribed to the show, as a good many of you have in this recent time, if you are if you're wondering what's going on a Monday show, what we're doing this afternoon, well, stick around because I'm going to tell you here in a little bit. But if you haven't already joined us for the fun, if you haven't signed up for this crazy circus that never stops, then please do me a favor, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, and that would be wonderful. I would be so appreciative if you would do that. That would kick butt. I think the kids say that today. It would kick butt. Can I say butt on YouTube without getting? I hope so. I hope that's not too extreme. I don't see anything popping up saying that the stream is ended, so I will assume that everything is hunky dory. But anyway, do me a solid favor if you would. Go out there and enjoy some of this lovely fall weather we're having before it gets freezing cold or miserable where you are. It's supposed to be chilly for us, for our temperatures, and it never, this drives me crazy. It doesn't matter. Like, we can have hard freezes. It can get like below zero down here with a wind chill. And there's always some Yankee that's gonna, you don't know what cold is, pal. And I'm like, you're right, I don't. I live in Florida, where people rarely, if ever, keel over from a heart attack from shoveling snow. Granted, we had 10 inches of it in the Panhandle last year, but it was gone in a couple of days. But anyway, we are we are doing just fine weather-wise, and I hope you are too. But anyway, what would please me more even than that would be is if you would direct your attention here. And that's Shellback. That's, gotta watch out for that wheeling dragon. Hello, good to see you. So just if you would direct your attention to our sponsors on this lovely evening. And guess what? They're me. That's right. The Delver's Dungeon is brought to you by the Dungeon Delver. You can find below in the description links to our merch store. You can go and you can get some merch or some merch. You just want to cram it together. This is the international symbol for cramming things together. Dan Hammond, we get falling iguana alerts. We do sometimes. We do get falling iguana alerts, but that's just a consequence of living in Florida. But yes, we have lovely merch designed by none other than Dungeons and Dragons pioneer artist Tracy Lesh. That's right. He's not just a pioneering artist, he's a pioneer artist, because Tracy also did the illustrations for the first ever version of Boot Hill. That's right. And Tracy is the designer of some lovely merch. You get a pint glass, get a coffee mug, get a vinyl sticker, just all kinds of cool stuff. Check that out. Also brought to you by Crom, the Character Record Organization Manager. Let me ask you something. Let me run something by you. Do you ever find yourself playing first edition AD&D? You have a character death. What do? Well, you can take some time to quickly slap a character together, hope that you got everything right, hope that it fits the rules, and then just kind of go from there. And maybe it doesn't always. Maybe, you find out 6 months later, like, I was leveling him wrong. This class race combination isn't allowed. Guys, have I got the solution for you? Crom, the Character Record Organization Manager software, is the last word in first edition, and Crom will absolutely fix up your character questions. Now, you can go out there on the web. You can generate a character just like that. Okay. There's plenty of user interfaces out there on the web, and I'm moving around like David Byrne, and you may find yourself, you will, you'll be able to find any number of character generators out there, and that's fine. Here's the thing. Let me ask you this. What do you do once the character's made? You quickly try and scratch it down on a note card, or maybe you right click and select all and paste it into a Word document, or do a screen grab or something like that. And then you're just out there on your own. Then you're back to, okay, wait, I got to divide this by this. I got to do this by that. I got to keep up with all this stuff. It's managing the character. It's what comes after you create it. That's the part that can be a little tedious. And that's where Crom comes in. That is where Crom comes in, because Crom, the M stands for manager. Crom will let you add experience points. It will divide those experience points correctly if you have a multi-classed demi-human character. It will let you level drain, and it will remove hit dice appropriately for each level drained. Say you got a fighter whose hit dice over 3 levels are 6, 7, and 8. They lose that most recent level because they French kissed a white. It will take 8 hit points right off. Perfectly. Every time. What if you got a half-elf who's got the moxie to become a bard? How do you handle that? Crom will let you dual class from half-elven fighter to half-elven thief on your way to becoming a bard. It'll also do it for humans, naturally. Have you got a human that you just want to dual class? Crom will handle that. Is your DM one of those innovative people who will let you use psionics in his campaign? Crom will check for psionic potential. Buy your equipment. Sell gems and jewelry. Age your character. Change your character's alignment. All of this works through Crom. It's all coded in there, guys. No guesswork. Did you age to the point where your strength and constitution start to come down? Because that happens when you get old. Speaking as an old person, I can tell you that happens. Crom will handle it for you. There's not much it can't do. Save your character in text format or in HTML. Guys, it is an amazing program. Through Crom, all things are possible. Yes, Instant Charlie. Through Crom, all things are possible. Crom is the bizom. And it's only $25, guys. $25, all future upgrades, all that stuff. just comes to you in perpetuity. It's not an online service, guys. It's not like, well, the servers went down today. You're on an airplane somewhere and you just want to riff off some AD&D characters. You're leaving Boston. You're on your way to Chicago. You will need a party of adventurers when you're wheels down in the city with the big shoulders. Guys, Crom doesn't require a network connection. Have fun. Fool your fellow passenger as you're working on Crom. Make them wonder what you're doing. All that cryptic stuff on the screen. Crom is where it's at. 4 methods of by the book character generation and manual input. So you don't want to use 46. You don't want to use or 46 drop lowest range to taste. You don't want to do the 3 dice 6 pick the best. You don't want to do the 3 dice 6 pick the best stat from each. You don't want to do any of those methods. You just want to roll the dice on the table and manually put it in. Crom will let you do that. And I know what you're asking. I know what you're thinking. You're wondering, but Bill, I want to bring a high-level NPC magic user into the game. I got to figure out a spell book, don't I? Wrong. Crom will auto-generate the spell book for you. It's just that good. It's just that smart. Guys, I don't like to toot my own horn. I don't like to talk that much about how awesome I think I am. But Crom is where it's at. Crom is where it's at. Well, there you go, Dan. Doesn't support 1E. Crom is core 1E, man. It's 1E core. It's AD&D core. No, Foxy, you're awesome. Everybody, polite round of applause for the beautiful Foxy Vixen. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, young lady. And I hope you and little one are doing very well. Speaking of awesome things, Foxy Vixen's presence presages a pretty awesome thing here. So I'm going to don my headphones and I'm going to bring on a guy. Let me tell you what, you need to be subscribed to his channel. It's kind of like, if you think of my channel as G123, his channel is D1, D2, D3. It's that important, guys. Please, everybody, welcome for a quick say of hello. My brother from another mother. Everybody say hello to Jack, the Lost Lore Scholar. Jack!
Hello. And I can see Shell there go, oh no. Anyone but him. It's me.
It's you. How are you, my friend?
Knackered. How are you, mate?
No, you have clothes on. If you were confused about that. Oh, knackered. Sorry, I heard something else. Anyway, no, I'm fine, man. I'm fine. You working hard or you hardly working?
Yes. It's just carrying on, man. Trying to keep the content mill going whilst also working full time and prepping for little one and also cat dying. So there's a lot going on.
I'm sorry for Kitty, man. Just love Kitty as long as you can, brother.
Well, she seems more mildly annoyed by the process than anything else.
Oh, well.
What's my mug? My mug is you ever see the Fool's was it Fool's Gold campaign with the killing D&D with karaoke, that old skit from a few years back?
Let's see. Let's bring in Solo.
It's the monkey. I'll try and get it on the phone as well. There you go. His name's Sips. I think it's Sips, not Sips. Either way, he's a monkey man, wild magic sorcerer that I thought was funny, and I liked the art, so I bought the mug.
I'm getting a strong Gorillaz vibe from that mug, if I'm being completely honest with you. The pop band Gorillaz, yeah.
Very modern anyway. Twinkle Star D&D. You probably wouldn't like it, but I found it funny at the time.
I probably wouldn't. Scootifier, Mike, hello, how are you? Welcome, my friend. Thank you for dipping in. I brought a guest. I have this power, Jack, and you are powerless to resist it. Because I did this last Thursday, I think. I'm just sitting here and like, all right, Snow pops in the audience, and I'm like, I'm bringing you on. I'm throwing you an invite. You're going to be on my show right now. And she was
You're
like,
my
I
friend now.
can't. And I was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Get in here, you know. So that was all. So I have done unto you as well. So I gotta ask you, brother, because I know we spar about sweet iced tea and the tea that you like, or as I call it, good iced tea and the tea that you like. But
I mean, that's where these stains come from, is proper English tea.
yes, but anyway, no, I wanted to with a missus of American origin. Do you guys do a Thanksgiving dinner over there?
Not really. It's a lot of work for two people, and usually we do a massive dinner for Christmas Day. So no, Thanksgiving hasn't made its way over. Halloween most definitely has made its way over from the States. We
Nice.
usually do quite a big thing for Halloween.
Yeah.
Brad was over here all week for Halloween, so it was Halloween's made its way over. Not so much Thanksgiving.
Right on. I have seen some you know, I mean, people like film what they do and throw it up on YouTube. I don't know what that's all about, but I have seen some English approaches to Thanksgiving, you know, just kind of embracing a general day of thanks and less, my God, we made it to dry land, thanks kind of thing, which is fine.
I mean,
But
the thing with Britain is most English households traditionally, and mine was the same growing up, and I'll still do it, you know, somewhat often, is that every Sunday is big roast dinner day with all the trimmings. So it's sort of like you get a Thanksgiving sort of every week or so.
Yeah.
Cost of living's sort of put an end to that a little bit, but that was the old way of doing it. You get yourself a big joint of meat and you roast that puppy for 4 or 5 hours, and then you also cook the meat.
Yeah, the menu could vary, but big Sunday dinner was very much a Southern thing when I was a kid growing up. So I know exactly what you're talking about there. You know, you get the families in from all over the county and whatnot, and you know, just everybody gathers and enjoys, and it's a good time. It's a good time, but yeah, I mean, when me and Mrs. the Delver, when we first started cohabitating and stuff, Thanksgiving was split between my parents and her parents. My folks are gone now, so who knows what.
Well, my family is very well trained in that they know their presence is not welcome unless explicitly requested, and and you know, Mrs. the Scholar is quite far removed from her family, so usually we're left unbothered.
Right on.
A little den of iniquity, which is, to be honest, I say unbothered. We're about to be disturbed for the next 18 years. Not a moment longer.
18 if you're lucky, dude. I don't know.
Not a moment longer. He will be President Dr. King by the age of 10. I jest.
I mean, dual citizenship, right? I mean, you know, you could sneak him into the royal family and a presidency.
I'm not sure if he will get dual citizenship straight away, or if he has to like apply for the American bid. I would imagine he would have to apply for the American bid.
I wouldn't think so, unless
you know, his mother would be American or is American.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But born on British soil with a British birth certificate. So who knows?
I don't know. International law on that front ain't my jam. So what are you what are you doing for gaming these days?
My personal campaign has sort of taken a little bit of a back seat. Is English through and through. She hates it when I say this, but Vix has been thoroughly recolonized.
I bet she has. Say no
Uh,
more.
but my personal campaign that I DM has had to take a bit of a back seat. I'm still playing in Brass's campaign every other week or so. I did get to do a bit of DMing on my 1,000 subscriber special, where I took some of my channel members through a one shot, and out of 5 players, 2 survived. So I think that's a pretty good kill rate.
Yeah, that's a good kill ratio. I like that.
It was very balanced on a knife's edge. It went right down to the last couple dice rolls there, and it could have gone either way at the end. So I think everyone had a good time. It hasn't done very well on YouTube. No one wants to watch everyone play Dungeons and Dragons, but
I wouldn't know anything about that myself, but
well, I find a lot of people don't. They like someone talking about Dungeons and Dragons, but sitting down and watching an actual play, because it wasn't scripted or anything like that. A little bit railroady, just one dungeon. But sitting down for 3 hours, and then I chopped that down to 2 hours from 3.5. It's a big ask. It's a big ask of people. And only the most watch.
I get it. I mean, it's I got one of those insipid, hey, tell us how we're doing things from those of you who don't YouTube like Jack and I do. YouTube periodically likes to pretend like they're engaging with people who aren't Sniper Wolf, PewDiePie, and Mr. Beast. So they send out these. I'm sorry?
Does PewDiePie still upload?
I don't fucking know. It's 33 million subscribers. I don't think he has to. I don't think he
does not.
To.
He won.
But yeah, he did. So anyway, so yeah, they sent me this survey like, tell us how we're doing. Tell us about, and I'm like, I know a thing about statistics and about corporate feedback. They want the top of the bell curve.
Yeah.
That's all they care about. That's literally all they care about. They disregard the people who just click strongly agree, like, rating 10, and they disagree, or they discard all the people who are like strongly disagree, hate, 0 stars, don't like this. So I just went ahead and jumped into that right hand side of the bell curve as hard and as fast as I could, and just kind of let them have it with both barrels. It won't do any good. But as far
feedback, so
but yeah, no, I get it as far as the as far as what sells, what's going to work, and that sort of thing. Our content, your content, my content, it could work if YouTube gave a damn.
Maybe,
but they pull the big levers and wheels.
But I'm just looking at my content here, like the 1,000 sub special, 2-hour edit, 45 views and 11 likes, right? But the last sort of 5 videos before that are all like 1,000 to 2,500 views with hundreds of likes, and they're all talking about anything but Dungeons and Dragons. So it's very obvious that YouTube did kind of put its heel on the neck of D&D tubing, at least to me.
Yeah,
because the D&D stuff never gets traction. The most I think it does is 800 views on a good day. But if I talk Elder Scrolls, or I talk Bethesda, and I talk Wayward Realms, specifically Wayward Realms, then the algorithm grabs that and shoves it to the forefront, which is interesting enough, I guess. But I'm the kind of guy that likes to sit here and talk about the deeper themes behind a thing, and that never gets any traction. So what you do? You got to give the people what they want, and the people want slop.
And you know what? I've been doing shorts. They're contentful shorts. It's not just like I'll have a picture of me, like a camera image of me doing this while subway runner is playing behind me, and little factoids with the Blam fonts coming across.
I have gotten to the point now where, like that, I'm wondering if it wouldn't be just advantageous to get Grok to generate me. You know those anime intros where it's just like a character running across a meadow and it just loops? Just have a busty, jiggly elf girl running on the spot in the corner of the video for the whole video.
That's, you know what? That may work. That may work. I may
I would despair.
I may try that. I'm experimenting with the YouTube Shorts, and we were talking about numbers, and yeah, but like just the last few days, my Shorts content. See what I did there? The Shorts content's been getting thousands and thousands of views, and it's really good. It's really good. This is also true, by the way. Dungeon Dad 20.
There is a chap that is going to be on Tittle on Wednesday, actually, called Sir Schmib, doing a lot of retro Elder Scrollsy videos. He's uploaded 15 videos. He's got nearly 3,000 subs, but his videos are excellent, and I would recommend going and checking them out. But it is that sort of hitting the video essay stuff that YouTube likes, where it's not too long, it's nice and scripted, and there's nice gameplay in the background. I don't know, man. I think that luck is a big part of it, but I think if you know how to game that kind of the algorithm, you'll do quite well.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing you can do is you can get exciting guests on your live streams, and you can produce great content like that. And if you guys like really great content, you absolutely need to check out Jack, Lost Lore Scholar, right here on YouTube. He is out there doing fantastic stuff. And no, this is not the wind up to brushing you off, but I just don't want to forget it. Everybody, please.
That you're gonna pop that in.
But yeah, no, please check him out at Lost Lore Scholar here on the YouTube's fantastic channel you've got together there, guy. And I love I love being able to pop in whenever you ask. Oh wait, you don't. Anyway, moving right along.
In this, you get the general invite like everybody else, apart from this week. This week is a different thing. But you say you're not brushing me off. I will segue my way out though, because it's 11:30 at night, and I'm going to sort of wind down before I go to bed for work in the morning. But
goodness gracious, you go cuddle that lovely wife of yours, and thanks for swinging by, man. I really appreciate it. And everybody,
sit down and have a proper gym one.
There you go. Subscribe to Jack, subscribe to me, but subscribe to Jack also. And I will talk to you later, my friend. Jack, Lost Lore Scholar, just a little bit of the Delver power, being able to just bring in guests just like that. When you didn't think it could happen, when you didn't think that I would have a guest, I just brought you guys one right fresh, piping hot. And that was a lot of fun. That was Jack, Lost Lore Scholar, everybody, and he is a mensch. He is a wonderful, wonderful guy, and please subscribe. But anyway, so that's just a little bit of the kind of content you get around here, and I thoroughly enjoy and appreciate that fact. But let me tell you guys a little bit about what's going on this week. Dungeon Dad 2909 would love to be a guest. And thank you everyone who did subscribe to Jack. It is greatly appreciated. It's that Delver effect, man. But anyway, Dungeon Dad 2909 said he would love to be a guest. I may just open it. I may just do like an open line Sunday one day or something. I'll just get bored and just be like, who wants to come on and talk D&D? But anyway, so tomorrow night, Jack and I were talking about actual plays, but I got it. Look, I'm not going to lie. We have a pretty good actual play that we do here on the show. I'm excited about it. I'm pumped about it. Tomorrow night, be here or watch it afterwards, but it's going to be out there. we are going to be playing some first edition advanced Dungeons and Dragons. We've got dire wolves, we've got adventurers, we've got a ruined tower, and we're gonna throw some miniatures out for this one, kids. What are you thinking? Like a battle man? I'm gonna be drawing with a marker, like some kind of a caveman? Heck no, we got 3D terrain happening. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Tune in for that. If you've not watched one of the live plays of AD&D here on this channel, I think you're in for a treat. I think you're going to enjoy it. At least I hope so. I hope that's the case. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, the day of the Wednes, my co-host Kyle, the Viking Hat GM, he's going to take over. And folks, he's not just my co-host, he's a friend of mine. So behave yourselves when he's here. Jorge, good to see you. So Kyle is going to be here. We just got a couple more of those live streams left in the year. Same for our live plays and stuff. But we're just focusing on this week at the moment. So that's Wednesday. Thursday is kind of an openish, we're gonna deep dive-ish kind of thing. I'm looking forward to that. So tune in for that. We may I need to double check. We may actually have a scheduled guest. And then on Friday, we're going to be playing some Gamma World First Edition. That's right, Theater of the Mind. We've got a great group of survivors in the post-atomic wasteland. And don't miss that. Tune in for that. That's going to be a ton of fun. So be there for that. I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. And that is the week ahead. And this is the cool part of the show where I open up the floor. And if you guys have any TTRPG questions, topics, stuff you'd like to discuss, I would very much like it if you would just fire off your questions and ask right now. Just go ahead and formulate your questions about things Dungeons and Dragons related, or general TTRPG related, or about the show, about me, within reason. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil this one for you guys. Yes, I am wearing pants back here. So if you were wondering, now you know. And while you formulate, I'll tell you guys a little bit, because I was hinting about a dire future. Dungeon Dad right out of the gate with a good question there. But just real quick, for those of you who may not know, there will still be content coming in December, but we generally kind of wind things down here in terms of production. Because look, I've got to be baking. I've got to be running errands. I've got to be Christmas shopping. I've got so much stuff to do in December, but you're still going to get content. The live streams will go on pause for a bit. And then on December 25th, myself and Mrs. the Dungeon Delver will be right here live again when we are going to have a drawing for the OD&D wood grain set reproductions that we're going to be giving those out. So that's going to be December. That's going to be December. Jorge says I'm actually Santa. I have his gut. That's about all I can say. Okay, Dungeon Dad leading off the questions asked, do I feel that 2E was a good update to AD&D? No, I do not. 2E was very ballardized. It was bleached out. It had all the greatness, all the cool grit that made AD&D First Edition great was just washed out to appeal to the blue-haired church ladies. And if you don't believe me, guys, look no further than the removal of assassins and half-orcs in the standards and practices letters that flew around TSR at the time that were directed at creators. Shellback Bow is making eggnog. That's wonderful. You know, I used to make a really killer eggnog out of ice and bourbon. But anyway, let's see. So let's hop over to St. Cuthbert of the Cudgel asks, what do I have my eye on for Christmas? What are you asking Santa for? I would not hate to have the Frank Frazetta art book. However, it is ridiculously expensive. But it is literally every piece of Frank Frazetta art in a massive, massive, massive. Look, I'm not gonna. If anybody out there is feeling generous, I'm just saying. But anyway, what am I asking Santa for? I saw something pretty cool today that I just straight went to Mrs. Santa Claus, Mrs. the Dungeon Santa Claus, and I said, I want this for Christmas. Put this on my Christmas list. And she was like, okay. Dungeon Minister, good to see you. Namaste, Padre. Welcome to the show. So I would very much like that. I think I'm going to drop a little video about it tomorrow. I'm kind of excited about it. So, favorite holiday snack to make, follow up favorite holiday snack to eat. So there's two categories here. There's holiday desserts, treats, if you will. And then there's snack food. There's savory stuff that has a stick to your ribs quality to it. Which of those are we talking about? And I'm going to spare you. I'm going to save you a little bit of time because I'm going to say both of them. So when we're talking about the savory stuff, when we're talking about, I want to grab a few of these, put them on a plate, heat them up in the stove or in the microwave and a Coke and make a meal out of it. Sausage and cheese balls. I love sausage and cheese balls. And I'll tell you real quick, here's how you make them, guys. It is so easy. It is absolutely positive. It is the easiest. When you make these, you're going to be like, how have I lived my life without these? Here's what you do. It's the 3, 2, 1. You thought I was going to use a different finger, didn't you? It's the 3, 2, 1 recipe. What you want. 3 cups of Bisquick, 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, 1 pound of sausage. Any flavor of sausage you like. I recommend not Italian or maple, but if you want sage, hot, mild, medium, whatever you want. Let that sausage come to room temperature until it's nice and plain. Don't leave it out overnight. You'll give yourself food poisoning if you're lucky. But what you want is you want that pliant enough to work with your hands. All right. You can take it out of the fridge and do this. It's just really difficult to do. So take it out, set it out for a few hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever. Don't warm it up in water. Again, you're asking for bad stuff on your insides. Put that in a mixing bowl. When it gets nice and pliant, you want to put that in a mixing bowl. You don't have to break it up. Throw in 3 cups of Bisquick. Throw in 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. You want to work this into a dough. You want a nice, firm dough. Break off golf ball sized pieces. Put them on a nonstick pan. Bake them at 425 degrees for 15 to 18 minutes. This yields up about 36. They are amazing. I introduced my family loves them. They are simply amazing. It is a great stick to one's ribs. It's breakfast. It can be lunch. It can be a light dinner. Love it. Now, desserts, very simple. For holidays, to make cheesecake. I love making cheesecake at holidays. Smoking them, that's interesting. You have a smoker banana. That is interesting. And you use sage and fennel. I would use those things, but I'm the only person who likes those things. Protein balls, huh? I never heard them called that. But anyway, I hope that answers your guys' questions about that. So yeah, fire away and ask me D&D related questions, food related questions, whatever kind of related questions you want to ask. I will tell you this, even though Jack and I talked a lot about this, and I don't want to bore you guys with a bunch of non D&D specific, I think this can be Dungeon Minister, if I could make it up there. What is my favorite DOS AD&D game? Oh, that's easy. Pool of Radiance. Pool of Radiance. Played it on my Commodore 64 back in the days. Played it on an Amiga emulator, and I bought the Gold Box game collection from Drive Through RPG. Oh my goodness. From Good Old Games. I've got them kicking around here somewhere. Love those. Yeah, if I can make it up there, Dungeon Minister, I would roll up cheesecake in hands. In pans. In my hands. I wouldn't just be carrying globs of cheesecake. That just wouldn't work. But yeah, Pool of Radiance, man. Gotta love Pool of Radiance. But anyway, I've been doing a thing over on YouTube where I've been breaking out, not really like editing videos, but I've been taking topics that I've talked a lot about here on the show, and I've been making short videos, 45 seconds to a minute and change long. And it's been really successful. People seem to liked it quite a bit. And if you're one of the people who has subscribed recently because of those YouTube shorts, thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate it. Bless you. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to, Dungeon Minister. And there's more coming tomorrow. I think 3 is golden. Hitting in the afternoon with them is the exact right time. I did have one fail to launch today, and it's my own fault. And I'll tell you guys about this. This is kind of funny. When you throw a YouTube video out there, initially it defaults to private. That is, people won't see it unless you can share the yeah, there's like 12 out there, Wheeling Dragon. You can go get caught up, my dear. But you can you can set them to different visibility levels: private, unlisted, public, or premiere. And I screwed up and left one of my videos that I meant to that I uploaded today. I set it to unlisted, and then I realized I did it. And it's like, oh crap! Let me set that to public. It literally just just failed to launch. Usually, in the last 4 days when I've been doing shorts, they've been it's like, I will put a short out there, 1,200 views instantly, just shook, 1,200 people see it. That's pretty cool. And I've been getting lots of you wonderful people clicking the subscribe button, which I really appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. So, but yeah, that one I messed up and I left to private or unlisted rather. And so I was like, oh crap. So I go in and I edit and I set it to public. Yeah, it still hasn't gotten any traction back again. So you gotta be super careful when you get those. What was the very first D&D product I ever held? Now that's a good question. Thank you, Cuthbert. I appreciate that. Okay, ever held. Now this is interesting. The first D&D product I ever held was A2 Secret of the Slaver's Stockade. Didn't own it. Guy at lunch in elementary school let me leaf through his copy, and I was hooked. I was hooked. I was pulled in. It owned me from that point. Okay. Is what I'm saying. The first one I ever owned of my own was B2 Keep on the Borderlands. Before that, the next D&D product I held was probably the pastel interior booklets for the Tomb of Horrors. I say the interior booklets because it was at a Zayre's. Now, if you know anything about Zayre's back in the 80s, they had an incredibly horrible shoplifting problem at Zayre's. That and their credit department are what sank that company. Well, sank that branch of the company. Zayre's is still around. If you know Bell's, same company. They just shuttered all their Zayre's stores. But they had the cardboard half stack Your Gateway to Adventure display in the toy department. And I swear that thing was just picked over in the worst way. That is where I got my copy of A1 at. I got it at Zayre's, but the rest of it, there was a copy of S3 that everything was still together, and I was weirded out and I loved it. And they also had the Grenadier Red Dragon's Lair, which the first time I saw it, the shrink wrap was on it. The next time I saw it, the shrink wrap was off. I carefully opened the box. Everything was in there. I oohed and awed over it, including the little micro gems. The next time I saw it, pieces of it had been removed, and then it was completely gone. So, yes, I have one. Dungeon Dad. I have one that was painted up by PML, Paint Minis Live, and it is over yonder. It's right over there. I gave her a name because she has young, Azrath. But I got that on eBay as an auction on eBay back in 2004, 2005 for $36. I won the auction for $36. And I sat on it for the longest time, and finally Paint Minis Live took it off my hands, painted it, returned it. It is an absolutely phenomenal piece. I love it. I absolutely love it. She's got the diamond. We studded the base right here live on the show. We studded the base with the gems that came with it because it had all the gems from the 70s. And I've got the box for it right here, actually. Here's the box. Let's jump in. So that is the Grenadier Red Dragon's Lair. Unfortunately, I don't know what became of the mold for this. Basic to second, old Celtic. Good to see you. Somebody said up here, oh, Dungeon Dad found the 1977 Red Book. My friend, there was no Red Book in 1977. There was a Blue Book. There was a J. Eric Holmes basic book, but it wasn't red. Red didn't come until 1980 with the basic set up there. But that wasn't a real red. That was more of a magenta. Well, the book itself was red. And then the men's are set, but I mean, Red Box Basic in 84, along with the Ghost of Lion Castle. Not familiar with that one. So your sister played D&D back in the day. That's wonderful, Dungeon Dad. But I at the end of it all, I do appreciate it all. So anyway, I hope that answers your question about what the first D&D product I held was and what the first D&D product I owned was. Yes, they were 3-hole punched. I wish mine was in better condition, but what are you going to do? I will tell you this. I will tell you. I was contemplating this today as I was perambulating along the sidewalk, walking the hound, and I thought to myself, if I had a large format printer, 11.5 by 17, I would go bonkers. The quality of PDFs that are out there right now. I mean, it's worth it to me to buy the red and blue Moldvay basic expert sets to print quality books for them again. I have man, I have Matt to blame for this. I've gotten bitten by the DIY D&D. When I realized how easy it was to do, I just want to print my own stuff up now, man. But I don't have a large format printer. And it would seem to me on the face of it to make perfect sense that you could just tell your printer, hey, I'm putting in 11.5 by 17 paper into you. Print on it all. But you can't do that, which is just, it's a shame. TSR Watsy, TSR every day of the week, as long as we're talking about prior to 1989. Or it could be really persnickety and say prior to Gary's departure. Did I play any other RPGs? Rarely. The first non-D&D RPG that I played was Champions. I played Champions for an afternoon. I played a Wolverine-like character in Champions. One page rules plus 3D printer equals win forever, always. And if you've already got a bunch of 40K miniatures, one page rules plus the miniatures you have. You did TMNT and Other Strangeness, which led to Rifts, the most all over the place RPG of all times. Absolutely the most So I remember hearing this discussion, seeing this discussion. Someone was talking about doing a Rifts Torg mashup. Like, how does that even work? That's like, we're mixing spaghetti and goulash. Like, how can you tell at that point? Yeah, Instant Charlie, one of the things that I have found with doing the reproduction OD&D sets is if your printer offers the option, borderless printing is pretty much the way to go. What other RPGs would I recommend other than OD&D, 1E, and Gamma World? For fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is not bad. 1E. The 2E is close to 1E. People say it's a little bit more cleaned up and therefore better. I leave that to individual judgment. That sounds a lot like the argument that people try and make for me. Oh, you should just play. We just played 1E, but the 2E rules came out. And no, guys, it is different. It is different. So Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay for fantasy. For science fiction, if you're not a tinkerer, for science fiction, I wish I could recommend Star Frontiers, but it's so out of print now. Maybe Traveler, whatever condition Traveler is in these days. Horror, Call of Cthulhu. WEG Star Wars was pretty good. I didn't grow up with WEG Star Wars, so I don't have the same nostalgic attachment to it. Three Little Black Books, Death Angels, Three Little Black Books. So I had no problem with D20 Star Wars, but I understand why people do. As a guy who does not like D20 D&D, I get it. I mean, you can get all the Traveler now. Do I have it? I do not have my Traveler book, but I have the Traveler book, and it's just all 3 LBBs bound in a single hardback that you can get pod. For superheroes, you really can't beat Champions. Giant robots is difficult, but I have settled on heavy gear for giant robots. It's an easy pickup. Love the D6 system. Yeah, I mean, dice pool games can be a lot of fun. Hero's a dice pool game. But that's about where I stand. I mean, I guess if you're going to do something that is outside of sci-fi, fantasy, horror, supers, just look for specificity. Like I would never run Hero System and play a Kids on Bikes like game. Tales from the Loop is an amazing Kids on Bikes style game. I like it. I will sing its praises from the rooftops. Derek, man, you're just getting into Traveler now, man. Yeah, Traveler was one of those that I didn't come around to till a couple of years ago myself. If I wanted sci-fi, I had Star Frontiers to scratch that itch. The upper number Totala and Heavy Gear are reached quick. They are. It is, and I think it's a nature of making your characters big damn heroes all the time in the game. They want you to get to the top and stay to the top rather than a character funnel. That is what I have found with a Heavy Gear. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily cater to ultimate power fantasy characters, if that makes a lick of sense. Yeah, poor Jorge is almost clipped through the map boundary. Like you have to use console commands to get to where Jorge's at. And I don't say that to mock or demean. That's just the guy is out there. He is almost as far from me as you can be and still be on the planet. When the ISS passes overhead, those people are closer to me than Jorge is. I don't know how I feel about that. It's like the D&D new group with the supers. The beauty of one is you're only as good as your geared experience. Yeah, but I mean with 1E, it is not just character experience, it's player level of experience. I beat on this drum, but it's true. Yeah, 5E is very much a superheroes game. 4E, I mean, I think they tried to dress a little bit more modestly with 5E, because 4E was just straight up, this is just the Avengers. Oh, you have an orc barbarian, just call him the Hulk. You got a ranger / artificer, just call him Iron Man. An arcane archer, there's Hawkeye. You see where I'm going with this? I don't know, Shellback. I don't want to dox Jorge, but he's pretty far away. Yeah, that's really, their marketing for 4E was absolutely horrid. And personally, I think they changed because all right, here's where I'm going to go off and start edition warring, and I apologize for that. But when I listened to an interview one night with Ryan Dancy on NPR, and this was around 99 or 2000. And he started talking about WEG D6 is very good. It is very good. RPG Gen XL. But he started talking about the design ethos of third edition. And he said, well, we sent out a lot of feedback cards, and we found out that what people want out of D&D is to play this many hours a week, this many sessions a month, and they want to be exactly precisely at this level at this time. Like they wanted like a spreadsheet scheduling of how their D&D character was going to progress, and don't you dare step away from that. And it became very mechanical. It was very much just a system of cogs. You just turn a handle and it would just bring your character down through the cogs, and then dropping out in the little cup was a little silver bearing that had your character's name and 20th level on it. And you got that just by turning the handle. There's no difference. There's no different way to play it. There's no different way to do it. There's one optimal path for every character class in the game. It is built on feat trees. It is built on skill ladders. And one thing that became really insidious was the everybody's a spellcaster. If you unpack what they have done with the game since 6th edition, all the way back to 1st edition, and yes, I'm pointing at you, Tui, I'm pushing you up into that lineup with the others. What they have done is they looked at the mechanics of the game, not the philosophy of the game. And because they looked at the mechanics and not the philosophy, what happened was they relied on hazy memories of DMs that would literally just say, all right, 1 to 4 gemstones, just 4 gemstones, base value for each gemstone, lucky rolls, they're 50,000. Okay, you got 200,000 for like a character, first or second level character. DMs didn't understand the assignment because we were all playing when we were 10, 11, 12. Most of us were. So when those Gen Xers got their hands on the guts of D&D, they said, well, it doesn't work. Paying a level doesn't make a single bit of sense. Paying the level, that's ridiculous. So they started removing parts that they didn't understand why they were there. You don't have a money hall problem if you're using the leveling system. And you don't have a problem with speed leveling if you're using the XP rewards for good roleplay system that is built into first edition AD&D. I bet you didn't know that existed, did you? I bet a bunch of you didn't know that existed. And I know for a fact Ryan Dancy didn't know it existed because he told me so. He started posting on a forum and started talking about how people who want to play AD&D by the book just wanted to play chainmail. They just wanted to play a war game. People who wanted to role play in AD&D were better served by the game. And I quote, Dogs in the Vineyard, because it has this ridiculous escalation and de-escalation mechanic. And I confronted him with this, and I said, you don't know how first edition AD&D works. You don't know that first edition AD&D, baked into the rules, has rewards for good role play. It's right there in the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide. Rewards for good role play. Dan, I'm gonna tack that up here for a second, and I'm gonna come back to you on that. I saw your question. I'm gonna answer it. But there is no, or rather, there is a system that rewards good role play. Excellent, superior, fair, poor. ESFP. If you're dicking around, if you're not playing your character properly, if you are not playing your role well, right there in the Dungeon Master's Guide, you should be docked grades. And when your grade drops, it costs more money to level because it takes you longer to study to level, which means you have to have more treasure, which means you have to grind harder. You see what I'm saying? First edition AD&D rewards good role play. It punishes bad role play. And he didn't understand that. He didn't know that was in the book. Mr. We are going to redesign AD&D. We're going to make it the bestest ever. And don't you doubt us. Didn't know that AD&D had a mechanic for good role play baked into it. They didn't put one in third edition. There wasn't one in second edition. There wasn't one in fourth edition. And there wasn't one in fifth edition. And there's not one in sixth edition. They didn't understand the assignment. They got rid of components of the game that they didn't understand because they didn't use them back when they were little kids, just like I was back in the 80s and playing D&D. And then they didn't use them when they were high school kids, and they didn't use them when they were college kids. And then when they turned around and started gutting the game and ripping it apart, they didn't understand what they were getting rid of. Or back then, they got rid of the rules and they didn't understand why the game didn't seem to work right. Why are we so rich so fast? Ha ha, this game is broken. Not if you're paying the level. Not if your DM is making you pay taxes and character upkeep, tariffs, fees, all that jazz. It's not a money haul game. So that's how that is. So Dan Hammond asking this question: is there any support for old school D&D like 1E or 2E in modern Gen Cons? I looked at the game grid for Gen Con one year, and there were no AD&D games, no OD&D games, no basic D&D games, no 2E games on the game roster. Understand something. Gen Con is 70,000 people showing up to Indianapolis. Now, I'm not sure the demographics, but I think Indianapolis basically grows by a third again. Actually, I'm going to look this up. It's about a tenth of the population shows up for Gen Con. And yeah, I searched the game grid. The closest I found, somebody was running an like literally out on the mezzanine. I looked at where this poor schmuck's table was, a Hackmaster 4th ed game. And it only showed up because the person was using ample hashtags so it would get caught. If you love AD&D, don't bother with Gen Con. If you love tabletop gaming in general, you will certainly find some entertainment at Gen Con. I'm just saying, if you love AD&D, don't go to Gen Con. If you love OD&D, don't go to Gen Con. If that's the only reason you want to go there, unless you're going to fly the flag and a whole bunch of people are like, I'm going to be there. You're running OD&D, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at your OD&D table. That's what I want to do. But otherwise, it's a waste of your time as an old schooler. The small cons are where the old school and OSR stuff. Yes. Gary Con is very much a good con to go to, although it's kind of starting to slide to generic. But EggCon, oh my God, I had so much fun at EggCon this past summer. Just wall-to-wall old school. I cannot recommend Gen Con nearly enough. Wall-to-wall old school. Yeah, Dan, for what it's going to cost you, brother, honestly, I would find a small local con. I mean, okay, so you're Indianapolis is. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Yeah, it's 4 hours from Lake Geneva. It's about a 300-mile run. So if you were going to go to Indianapolis, stretch it out a little further. Stretch it out a little further. Go to EggCon instead. Tell Heidi and Eric I said hi. You play every week, but only for 3 hours. How to handle XP treasure to keep it fun for the players. Brooke, if that question was directed at me, what I would recommend is that if you reach a point now, okay, so despite the fact that I wrote Castles and Crusades stuff, I feel kind of embarrassed. I don't really know functionally how it works, but assuming for a minute that Castles and Crusades Treasure and XP is done back at town, what I would recommend you do is just play, enjoy. The characters are carrying the loot, or in the portable hole, the bag of holding, whatever, as they're going along. What I would recommend is, if you hit a point where it's like, and you ride back into the village of Hamlet. That's where we're going to stop for tonight, guys. Compute it. Send out an email. Send out like an adventurer's journal to your friends, to your players, and just say, this is what happened. This is what happened in the interim. But then you have the homework to do between games. Death Angels really wants to go to EggCon. I really recommend you go to EggCon. But that is what I would do, bro. Now, I kid my players here on the live stream, and then I kid my Monday night group that sometimes the A in AD&D stands for accounting. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and say, okay, guys, Let's break out the pocket calculators. Let's get out the tablets. Let's get out the pencils. Fire up your laptop. We're gonna have to do some treasure computations and XP doles. That can just happen like that. Phone's ringing across the room. Yeah. One thing I'm going to tell you about, everything is expensive at I'm sorry, hang on. All right, it stopped. Everything is expensive in Lake Geneva because it's a tourist town in the summer. You know, $25 for a plate of food. Culver's isn't even necessarily that cheap, and it's not that good either. Here's the hack. I'm going to let you get anybody, if you're going to EggCon, here's what you want to do. Go to Gino's East. It's a pizzeria. Go to Gino's East. Get a kid's pizza. One topping, $7.99. Comes with a drink. Additional toppings are like $1 more. But it's a 10-inch pie. That's 2 meals. And it's $7.99. What goes better with TTRPGs than pizza? I said it's not great. It's not great. We have a Culver's up the highway from us here in my neck of the woods here in Florida, and honestly, I love it. I just didn't think the Culver's up in Lake Geneva was all that fantastic. But yeah, there's your hack. Gino's East. You know, you're feeling fancy, spend a couple of bucks, get some extra toppings. It's still cheaper than order, and you can get up, everybody can get a pie for themselves. It's like, instead of throwing $6 or $7 each for a pizza, throw in $6 or $7 for yourself. Go get the kids menu pies. I don't know about that, Emma saying. That sounds pretty horrid, but yeah. Do they have delivery? I mean, oh yeah, down to you. Or hey, I don't think it would get there to you in time, buddy. I unfortunately didn't find that out until Friday. I got there Wednesday. So Wednesday and Thursday, I paid a little bit for big sit down meals, and I would have just survived on pizza. The best cheat. I didn't have a ride, or else I would have done this. But the best cheat, honestly, is just drive up 50 to the Walmart and just get yourself some vittles and cook them in the hotel room. If you're staying at the Cove, you've got a full-sized oven and a refrigerator. Just, make yourself a few small meals. It's going to be cheaper. But if you want just something you can just grab and eat while you're at the gaming table, Gino's East Pizza, baby. I didn't try anything too fancy while I was there, St. Cuthbert. Just, again, I was on a budget. I didn't want to be just like, a $30 pizza, something like that. But it was really good. For less than, less than expensive. It was really good pizza. Anyway, we got about 10 minutes left, guys. 10 minutes before we wrap up here. We have some good viewers here. 30 of you folks watching over on YouTube, and another 200 plus have peeped us on X. Do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications. I will be greatly appreciative of you if you would do that. That would be awesome. We have some real fun coming up tomorrow with our first edition AD&D game. If you have not played AD&D in a long time, or alternately, if you have never played D&D before, Or alternately, if you are still playing AD&D and you like seeing how other DMs do it, tune in tomorrow night, because the way we do it, guys, the way we run our AD&D games is thusly. If you have a question, I want you guys to feel free to ask it in the live chat, just like you have tonight. I saw that Wheeling Dragon. I will get to that in just a minute. But if you have a question while you're watching tomorrow night, I want you to ask. I want you to ask in the live chat. I want you to pop your question in there. If I don't answer your question, Robovsky Turner. Hello. Welcome, Rob. But I want you to feel free to ask your question. If I don't answer your question, one of the gaming group might answer your question. If somebody in the gaming group doesn't answer your question, somebody in the audience might answer your question, because, folks, I have the best looking. Wheeling Dragon should be all the evidence you need for that. And smartest live stream audience of any 5-night-a-week TTRPG live stream shows on YouTube. And I'll kill on that hill. I'm not dying on it. I'll kill on that hill. So yeah, tune in tomorrow night and check that out. Because, guys, we roll our games. When we play our games. Hey, Michael McLaughlin, thank you very much for the super. Thank you very much for the super. Michael says, running some coworkers curious about D&D through Beckme. That's okay. You'll get better. They love it, including a 5e burnout who loves the system and its simplicity. That's the way. I like it. And they do too. But thank you for the super, Michael. I really appreciate it. Thank you. But anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. We play first edition AD&D. We roll the dice where you guys can see them. This is not scripted, guys. Okay. There's no script writing sessions. There's no rehearsals. There's no table reads. There's no story arcs, yada, yada, yada. I should be nice. You could backcharge me on that. We actually play AD&D and Kyle's game and Gamma World, or whatever we're playing on Friday, as it should be played, exactly as it should be played. There could be a TPK. We could be playing for 5 minutes tomorrow night and everybody's gone. Everybody is diddly erdlerd. And so if that's the kind of action that you cotton to, tune in tomorrow night for AD&D games. I did want to mention something. I did want to bring this up real quick here. If we could have some prayers for Wheeling Dragon's friend Barb. She is facing some serious health challenges. Listen, whether you're spiritual, whether you're experiential, however you progress in your life, it costs you nothing to direct some good thoughts and prayers towards Labyrinth Lady's friend. We will keep you in our hearts here, and she's it's serious condition. It's about as serious as it can be, folks. So I want you to keep that in your hearts. I want you to keep that close to you, and let's all pull for her. Okay. We play first edition Gamma World, White Rat. First edition Gamma World. So we've got a few more minutes here. You are very welcome, Wheeling Dragon. Always. Now, one thing I do want to mention, I do want to mention this, is that I said no live streams during the month of December. That's true, but you don't necessarily miss out completely. We are going to have something absolutely wonderful. We're going to have a dice advent calendar. We have done dice advent calendars for 3 years running. 2 of them were wonderful. One of them was absolutely comical, but we're bringing back the wonderful. I have sourced from an absolutely amazing young woman who has done a fantastic job. She's made the look, little spoiler here. She tracked down the TSR dice, the dice with a crayon, and some of the dice in the dice calendar. She has cast those, so I'm very excited about that. That's so wonderful. So we're going to get some of those, and we will have a wonderful dice advent calendar, daily shows, just daily shows. Maybe do them as shorts and as longs. But anyway, does it come with a crayon? I'll have to ask her about including the crayon. But maybe she'd be interested in knocking together some others of the right colors. But you guys would have to be real polite about asking her. So that's about going to do it for me, guys. I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you, everyone. Love you all. I mean that. I will be back tomorrow evening. I will be DMing first edition AD&D. The wolves are gonna get in and do their wolfy things. So everyone, if you haven't already, please do click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications if you do that. And the one thing I'm going to warn you about is if you don't click the bell icon, the owl bear will get you. Peace, good night, love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.